guys to another episode of the Rap and Wrestle podcast. You guys know me. I am Derek. You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at RapnWrestle. Make sure you subscribe and like on Instagram and Apple Podcasts and anywhere you get all your streaming needs. Today, very special day. Got a very special guest with me, the Immaculate Threat, Nevaeh Chantelle. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm glad to have you on. I always like to get on, wrestlers that I think are just killing it and just doing a good job.
Thank you.
I saw you with Invictus and with Goddesses of War, and I think you're just doing some great things out there. So I was like, I got to get you on. I wanted to talk to you for sure.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, definitely. For you, like we said, you're doing, Goddesses of War, Invictus, training with the Monster Factory. How did all of this start for you? Like, how did that love for wrestling, how was it created in you?
Well, I'm an introvert. I'm always a kid that likes to be in the house. So I used to just watch my uncle's videos, the VHS tapes with just wrestling, and I could spend hours just watching wrestling and just, I just fell in love with it. I love the story aspect of it. It's not just competition sport; it's the story behind it, kind of like a telenovela. With body slam, you know what I mean? It's just a cool way to mix it's a cool way to tell a story.
No, definitely. I can definitely see that. For you, kind of at that time, I'm 34 years old, right? So when I fell in love with wrestling, I felt like a lot of girls probably didn't like wrestling, or maybe they didn't just tell me. Did you feel were there other girls around too that liked wrestling?
No.
Were you the only one? No, right?
So I'm 29. So when I fell in love with wrestling, it was late 90s, early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there was tomboys, but I feel like I was the only one who liked wrestling. So I used to hang out with the boys a lot. Mm-hmm. And the boys used to think it was cool that I watched wrestling. It's we don't have a girl we can talk wrestling with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was interesting that, I didn't have a lot of female friends until I became a teenager. Mm-hmm. But when I was in elementary school, I used to hang out with the boys because the boys used to just think it was fascinating and I watched wrestling.
Yeah, man, that's cool. That's so funny. I always thought about that because I'm when I was younger, I'm I don't remember any of the girls actually hanging out with us and talking about wrestling. When did you decide and think hey, I'm gonna take this serious and I want to try to make this into a career?
So 2014, I was in college, and honestly, I'm not a bookworm at all. Mm-hmm. I'm smart. I can do college work, but I just wasn't in love with it. And I've been through a lot of trials and tribulations in my life, and I was what's the one thing that always made me happy? And I was wrestling. Yeah. But the thing that was always holding me back was I wasn't athletic enough to do it. And I used to keep telling myself, I'm not athletic enough to do this. And one day I just was screw it. I'm going to do it. And if it don't work out, it don't work out. But at least I can say I did it. Yeah. 5 years later, I'm here.
Oh, man. That's great. So you say you weren't athletic and you decided to get into a sport where athleticism is
yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, that's crazy. So how was it just trying to find a school, and how did you settle on where you ended up with Monster Factory?
So there's several schools in my area, but I think just how Danny Cage presented his school on social media and stuff, especially around that time, I was just drawn to it. Mm-hmm. I like the fact that he was very direct. Yeah. And also the actual shows looked at so much fun. It looked exciting. Everybody who was watching the Monster Factory shows, all the fans looked happy about it. The wrestlers I just was why not? I just was I'm gonna go with that school. Just because it just seemed, I don't know, it just was something drawn to me to it. I was yes, maybe that's the school for me. Mm-hmm. And then when I got there, I was scared, but I felt home.
Definitely. What would you say, how were your experiences, or how are your experiences as well with the Monster Factory? And what would you say is probably the most valuable thing that you've learned so far?
even in an individual sport, it's good to have a good team. True. And the Monster Factory, we're tight knit, especially now post pandemic. I've learned at the Monster Factory that it's good to have like a good support system in this business. Mm-hmm. We all want to see each other win. We all want to see each other go to the top and get contracts. We have good coach system in place. Yeah. Supportive coaches. I think what I like right now about the Monster Factory is that Danny is wanting us all to succeed and get contracts and just go on to greater pastures right now. Yeah, and that's cool to have someone that wants to see you guys like, look, I love you guys, but you guys gotta go. You guys gotta go to the next level. That's what's cool about it right now.
Yeah, no, that's definitely good to have that type of support system behind you. You know, just even when you were a kid and, you know, you said you were watching, you know, the VHSs with your uncle, what were like some of your like favorite memories when you were a kid watching wrestling that, you know, kind of made it stick with you?
So the one pay-per-view that I watched a lot was Unforgiven 2000. And it had so many different stories. It had, you know, the China and Eddie, and then it had the triangle with Triple H, Kurt Angle, and Stephanie McMahon. Yeah. And it still had also like this group fatal four-way match. And I felt like I was getting a taste of different things on every single match. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I have to watch more of this. And then the next month was No Mercy. And you see the evolution of the story, because at the time I was only watching it pay-per-view by pay-per-view. I don't think I actually watched Raw until maybe that November. And just those things stuck with me. Just seeing how everything, like, just want to know what happens next. And I think right now that's actually what's missing in wrestling. Is like that need to know what happens next with a storyline. Not Twitter or drama like that. Like, actually watch the wrestling story and want to know what happens next.
Yeah, you know, it's so crazy. That was like a different time. I feel like wrestling, I don't know if they could ever repeat it. It was just like, it was great for us.
We're too social media heavy now.
Social media kills everything. It's like you literally, you can just go online and you can know what the outcome is going to be of any pay-per-view like 90% of the time. You don't even have to watch it. So it just sucks. I do miss that. I miss that as a child, just, you know, you know, what's going to happen next. That was always a big thing. But hey, I mean, I guess things change for the better. And, you know, when we talk about changing for the better, one of the things for sure is women's wrestling. We've seen how that has progressed, and, you know, it's just amazing how far. I know, I'm pretty sure, you know, Synergy Wrestling, they just did a whole women's tournament, you know.
Yeah, I was there. Yeah.
It's like, it's amazing. So, you know, for you, what are your thoughts on like women's wrestling today, and, you know, how proud are you to be a part of it?
I'm so proud, because when I grew up, like I said, like, it was a different time. It was more how you look versus what you can do in the ring or what story you can bring to the ring. And I love right now that no female wrestler, even in the mainstream, like, people criticize WWE for maybe not pushing Black women, but think about how many Black women now we actually have in WWE that, you know, are athletic women. Bianca Belair, Naomi, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Think about it. Like, growing up, we had one, Jacqueline. Yep. Then when Jacqueline they kind of slowed down Jacqueline push, then we had Jazz. Yep. You know, but we did, and then a little couple of years later, we had Alicia Fox, but we never had this time had Black women who are just as valuable to the company in WWE's eyes. And I think we just got to be patient. Just women wrestling as a whole, though, right now is amazing. No one looks the same. No one wrestles the same. No one. And also, we're mainstream.
Yeah.
We can be at a award show like the ESPYs. You can see Charlotte Flair and understand she belongs there. You can see Becky Lynch and understand she belongs there. But that's really also cool about it.
Yeah, man, it's come a long way, and it's just amazing how far it's come. And just I think like you said, it's just I feel like they like places like WWE and just with the times they stopped limiting themselves. So it was like we were still getting these great wrestlers. You know, it was Trish Stratus, it was Lita's and like that. But it's like with black people, I don't know. I just feel like when it comes to like being entertaining, being athletic, that's our world right there. So it's like when you put us in a sport like this, it's like we always gonna succeed in something like this. So I think that's how you open up the doors. You got these women, like you said, Bianca Belair, Sasha Banks. It's like you just see there's swag, there's the beauty, there's just the athleticism, wrestling, everything.
Right. And also for the first time, Black women aren't afraid to embrace our culture and be us.
Facts.
We can be as flashy and, you know, bring that swag that makes us Black women unique to the WWE. And that's what's amazing about it right now.
Yeah, I love that, man. I definitely just as being Black in general, I just love that, you know, when someone just is themselves and, you know, people accept us for that for sure.
Right.
You know, for you've done intergender matches as well, and you're out here, you're hurting these men too. It's not even like it's unfair. Like, what's your ideas on like intergender? Your thoughts, I should say, on intergender wrestling, and do you look forward to doing more of it?
Right. So growing up, I watched Chyna. So Chyna was my idol. It's weird. I have a picture literally like right over here of her. So intergender wrestling for me was always cool. I used to think it was something strong about a woman defending herself, a woman being able to kick ass just as hard as the men. When I joined, when I did Dojo Wars and I was presented with an intergender match, like I always did training matches with guys. So I wasn't intimidated at all when Dojo Wars said they were gonna let me wrestle men.
Yeah.
I was actually excited. And it was cool because around this time last year, like me and Karen Bam Bam were challenging guys in a tag team tournament. Yeah. Only female tag team, 2 Black women. You know what I mean? And it was cool because like we almost made it to the finals, but it was cool to have that experience of just kicking guys' ass and people on the internet understanding we are a threat to win. Like no one didn't say, why are they in this tournament? It was, of course, they're in this tournament.
Yeah,
which is cool. But I love intergender wrestling.
Yeah,
we need to see more of it.
Yeah, no, I think we do, and I love when it's like it makes sense. And you know, like for seeing someone like you in an intergender match, like you're like legit badass, and I literally will think like, hey, she really can beat this guy up like in real life outside of wrestling. Like I don't think it's just like an act, and you know, oh, it's like a smaller woman taking on. So I love it when the story is right and it makes sense. And I think we definitely, we need more of it for sure. And, you know, I just think the time we're in is like, we should start, you know, blending those lines. And, you know, like, I think even like we seen with, what we saw with like Tessa Blanchard when they gave her the Women's World Heavyweight Championship. You know, I think things like that are interesting. And I kind of like when they do things like that.
And, you know, I would say Tessa's controversy, like, you know, her controversy aside, she was the right woman for it. She had the side. She wrestled, like, you see the matches, the psychology was there for the intergender match. So her controversy aside, I do think TNA did a great job with building her up as a legitimate world heavyweight contender.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's definitely for sure. So let's say who are some of the men that you haven't been in the ring yet that you would like to actually do a match with?
Ooh, on the indies?
On the indies, yeah. The indies, you can give me indies and professional with it, whichever you like.
Oh, okay. So,
I know that's tough. So, everybody always asks women, right?
Yeah. Wow. So, my Monster Factory brother, Royal Money.
Nice.
Who just debuted at Dark last night.
Nice.
Definitely. You can give me. Wow, you really threw me off with that one. Yeah, give me Rick Recon, give me LSG.
Nice.
Another Monster Factory brother who I would love to get in the ring with. Wow.
That's tough.
You really got me thinking now.
See, now you're gonna be thinking about this all night now, making a whole
right
list.
now. No, I'm really going to be like, oh, now I'm gonna really have to make a list. Like, who do I want to wrestle? But those are definitely the main two, LSG and Royal Money, because those two dudes trained me, and when they did train me, they didn't go light on me in the ring, so I know they won't go light on me in the match.
Nice.
They beat me like I was a man, and they gave me the respect to beat me like a man.
Nice.
So I will love those two are definitely.
Yeah, those are two good guys, man. LSG, I love LSG. I see a lot of him over at Wrestle Pro over here in Broadway. So I love LSG, man. Let's see. So you've been at Monster Factory. We said Goddesses with Titan, Invictus. Do you have your eyes set on anywhere, or where like what are your plans that you would like to go to? Any goals?
I would like to wrestle for Synergy. I love what they did with the women's wrestling.
Nice.
I would love to wrestle. I wrestle in New York a lot. I haven't wrestled for House of Glory. I would love to like just be a part of whatever revamp they do over there.
Yeah.
Wrestle Pro. I would love to wrestle for Wrestle Pro. Pro Wrestling Magic. Capital. I want to next year. I just want those companies as I start working my way up. Shine. Definitely Shine. So definitely, especially, I just feel like this year, I had to focus more on training. I had some awesome debuts post-pandemic, but now it's time to go to the next level.
Yeah, definitely. Let's get into that as well. It says it's time to go to the next level. For you, what are like your personal goals that you want to achieve? The year's over. We were talking about that. 2020 is coming to an end, and heading into 2021. Like, what are those goals for you, and what are you set to accomplish this year?
Well, next year, and I'm manifesting it right now, I will win my first title.
Nice.
I will be a champion next year. Like, I'm manifesting it right now. I will be a champion next year. Number one goal.
Nice.
I want to have. We don't know the state of the world, but I would love some more debuts under my belt. Wrestle more places. Get my name out there. Possibly an AEW dark match. I just want to take, like, this time next year, I want everybody to speak on my growth as a performer and, have my name in the conversation as one of the top girls in indie wrestling.
Definitely. Yeah, I think you're definitely you're on your way there if you keep going the way you are right now, for sure. When it comes to critiquing yourself, what would you say is the biggest progress that you've had since you've started wrestling, and what would you say is probably something you still want to work on and get better at?
I'm still learning how to wrestle as a bigger girl.
Mm-hmm.
I am a bigger girl, and I'm, like I told you before, I'm proud of the fact that I was able to wrestle, like, to become more athletic and to grow and to do things that a couple of years ago I couldn't even do a roll or a bump or anything like that. So seeing my progress now, it's time to now know how to do proper psychology, footwork I have to work on, and those type of things, so I can accomplish my goals that I want next year. So right now, these last couple of months, I've been just training a lot, wrestle locally so I can still get my name out there. But next year, it's definitely going to be the year where I kind of buckle down on, working on my flaws.
Perfect. Good answer. What outside of the ring? So we came off of, quarantine. Everybody was on lockdown. What were you doing? Like, what were your hobbies like? What were you watching? Like, how was that going for you?
I was playing a lot of video games.
Yeah.
Video games that I didn't even know came out. I was playing Batman Tall Tale.
Mm-hmm.
I was playing The Wolf Among Us. Like, these games came out years ago. I've been so busy I didn't know that they came out. So I was playing them. GTA I was getting caught up on.
Yep.
UFC 4. I was playing all those video games. On TV, I was just watching a whole bunch of YouTube. Power. like Power is like my absolute favorite show. I was watching Drag Race. Oh my gosh. A whole bunch of Batman also.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's crazy. That time too, I was like, I got caught up on like GTA as well. And GTA, I was like, yo, I'm doing online. I'm thinking like, oh, this is dope. GTA is from like 2015. I'm like, what?
Right.
So it's crazy.
Yeah, because that GTA, like I don't know why, but I don't know why they're not making a new one, but they keep updating it. And even though I might talk shit like on Twitter about them doing an update instead of a new game, I know I'm still gonna play it, so I need to just cut it out.
I think it's too hard for them to make a new game. They creating whole worlds. It's crazy. So I think they're just like, man, we just gonna keep updating it because it's too hard to keep creating those worlds. What about music? What were you listening to during that time?
Music. So I was listening to Trey Songz. I was listening to Tiana Taylor. Oh my, I was listening to actually a lot of music. Wow. I listen to like I always been like a person who listens to an album, Pop Smoke, of course. Who listened to an album a couple of months later. I listened to the new Gucci that came out a couple months ago.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah. So yeah, I was listening to a lot of music. And also I was listening to music again, like that I haven't heard in years. Like I was listening to Yellow Wolf and I was like, what happened to Yellow Wolf?
Yeah, word, right?
Right. It was like
yeah, that's crazy. I was listening to a lot of hip hop during that time. What else? I got into battle rap. I don't know if you ever watched battle rap, but battle rap is legit like wrestling and hip hop literally combined. They take it so serious now.
I used to watch battle raps and I need to start getting back into them again.
It's way more advanced now. They got stories, they do promos, just the presentation altogether is way better. I'm telling you, check out URL Ultimate Rap League with Smack. It's evolved crazy. It's like a full-on production now. These guys doing battle rap, they're getting like the big stars are getting like freaking 50,000 a battle. It's crazy. It's evolved.
Yeah, I definitely gotta look into that. I definitely gotta look into that again. You know what I was watching also? A lot of hip hop history stuff. So I was watching like Tupac old interviews, Biggie old interviews, especially around the time where it was a lot of still like civil unrest and stuff. But I was watching a lot of not only what Tupac was saying, but how it related to current day, and it's scary.
Yeah,
very scary. So I was watching a lot of that, and also I was watching a lot of hip hop beef. I don't know if you remember the documentary Beef.
Yeah, of course.
But I was watching that.
Yeah,
I was like, I forgot these people hated each other. That's why I never got the collab.
I used to love that, man. I think I really started getting into that when like 50 and Ja Rule had their beef. That's when I really started getting into that. And those guys, they still hate each other to this day. Talk about
which is so weird because I remember being in middle school when that started, and the fact that they're both pushing 50 and hate each other still. I'm like, y'all need to just sit down and have a conversation. Because if you read a lot of the stories behind it, it honestly sounds like if they put their ego to the side and just talk, that can be squashed.
Yeah.
That 20-year beef can probably be squashed if they can just sit down and have a real conversation and be like, look, I did this wrong. I went about this wrong when we were young and dumb, but they still take shots at each other on Instagram.
Yeah. It's like weird. At this time, it's honestly no point. It's like, what are you even arguing about? You guys living two totally different lives now than you were living at that time. It's like 50 is like a producer going on doing his own thing. John's doing his own thing. It's like, bro, just give it up, man.
Right.
That would be huge for hip hop if those two put the beef aside. I would be. I mean, you talk about Gucci and Young Jeezy putting their beef aside. Right. That would be major for hip hop, definitely.
To be honest, you can even have if they go on pay-per-view, right, and have their conversation on pay-per-view, it will have 1 million buys.
Yeah, for sure. People would definitely buy it. I would buy it. Everybody would buy
I'll buy
it. Everybody would definitely
And if that
buy
ever happens, this podcast is proof that I came up with the idea.
Facts. You need 10% on that at least. Gotta give you something.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, I was what was I watching? I was watching Women's Weekly podcast that they do that you were on as well on YouTube with TK Trinidad. And she asked you, what did she say? She said, if you could only listen to one album like the rest of your life, and you said Demi Lovato, Tell Me You Love Me. So I was like, yo, at that point, I was like, yo, I really like her. I like you a lot. I am the biggest Demi Lovato fan that you will ever meet. You wouldn't even think it. And so I had to make sure that I brought this for you to see.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
This is a t-shirt, man. And it has all the different.
I might have to rob you. That's cool. I love that.
Oh man, I got you. I'll see if I can find another one next show that I'm at. I got you with this.
Awesome.
I'll hook you up with that. But I was like, yo, that's so great. When I heard that, I was like, that's so funny. Like Demi Lovato, everybody loves Demi Lovato.
Right, that album, for me personally, like I listened to it 2 years ago, but when I listened to it recently, it hit different because I'm going through my own like stuff and like love and relationships. So when I listened to that album, I was like, oh my God, this hits different now. Her music hits completely different for me now, and I love her even more right now.
Yeah, she's definitely amazing, and I like that she's overcome, you know, her problems with, you know, drug abuse and stuff like that. So she's an inspiration, you know, to people as much as, you know, she's a great artist as well.
I definitely agree.
Yeah. So what would you know, something else I was interested in, somebody else that I love that's on the independents as well right now that's coming up, Mother Endless. So I saw the video of you attacking Mother Endless, and I was just like, yo, people are legit like scared of Mother Endless. And I was just like, yo, it was so badass. Like, you showed no fear. You just like attacked her and beat her down. How is it?
You can't fear nobody. I'm from the hood. I can't fear nobody. What? No, but that was such a fun thing, like a fun program I did. And it was the first time I had like a real feud with someone. Like story. Was able to tell a story. And it was cool just to have that experience. And that video was so funny because it literally was just like, in my head, it was like, if she was on the street, if you had a real issue with this girl on the street, how would you go about it? You know what I mean? Like, if Nevaeh Chantelle was on the street and she had an issue with the girl who was doing all this shady shit to her, take Mother Endless character out the way, just treat her like another person. And that's the video.
I like it though. I like it. I think it showed. I think if anything, it helped show who you are more, you know, than it would, you know, do anything for to hurt Mother Endless or anything like that. Because Mother Endless is going to be Mother Endless at the end of the day, just the character itself. But I think that just shows.
There's no one like her on the Indies at all.
No, not at all. Not at all. And she's so amazing that if you talk to her after a match or anything, she does not break character at all. It's crazy. She doesn't.
That's what makes her amazing.
That's
what makes her amazing.
Yeah, she's definitely one of my favorite wrestlers that's out there today. So let's say outside of wrestling, do you have any like hidden talents that nobody would know that you have? Something that would be interesting. Somebody be like, oh snap, she really does that?
So I'm a good writer.
Yeah? Oh man. What do you write?
I just free write short stories, poetry, like I just write. Nice. I do write music, but no, I will not share it.
Oh man.
I'm real tech savvy. A lot of people don't know this, but like I can fix the computer. I'm real tech savvy. I like photography. I like anime.
Nice.
So I like doing things like, looking at the photography from anime. Going to like, when I'm in New York for wrestling, I love to try to go to a museum and look at like unique art.
Yeah.
So I think people don't know that about me.
That's dope. See, that's interesting. I like that. I like that. Different side of Nevaeh. I like that. I like that. Oh man. For you, what would you say, or what advice would you give to someone who's decided that they want to start their wrestling journey and they're gonna head into training and do that? What would be the advice that you would give to them?
Research the school you're going to.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to your coaches, even if you don't like what they're saying.
Yeah.
But still stick true to who you are. Like, don't ever let this business swallow you up and turn you into a different person.
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. I like that. That's definitely good advice. Nevaeh, I'm like so happy to like see what the future holds for you.
Thank you.
I can't wait to, see all the success that comes your way. We're speaking into 2021. That title is coming your way. So
Title's coming my way.
I can't wait to see that as well. For all the fans that want to follow you, they want to keep up with your journey as well. How would they follow you on social media?
Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Just search Nevaeh Chantelle.
Nevaeh Chantelle. That's heaven backwards. That if you pay attention. See, I know. But definitely. Once again, I just want to thank you for coming on. I really appreciate you taking up this time.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely. I can't wait when the success comes your way, and then we get to talk again and get to do this all over. I can't wait to catch up with you later on for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah, and for this episode, this is Derek. You can follow RapnWrestle at RapnWrestle on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Check us out on YouTube, Apple Podcasts as well. And for this episode, it's Derek, it's Nevaeh, and we are out.